Next, we will discuss about dialog boxes. Right? For example, here, if you see here, if I click on something, right, some file, a dialog box will be open, right, where you can choose all your local files and other files, right? This is called dialog box. Okay. So dialog box is also a form, but it is very small in size. Okay. And you could also display your form as a dialog box. Okay. So sometimes, when it comes to especially UI based applications, so you may need to create dialog boxes. Okay. So to give more flexibility to the end user. Okay. Let's see how to create some dialog boxes. I'm going to create another form. Add new form. Windows form. Form dialog boxes. So if you want to make any form as startup project, startup form, okay, so don't forget it. Just go to program.cs. So every application requires its own starting point. What is the starting point of your console application? Main program. That will be used by your compiler, because here you can have n number of forms, you can write n number of instructions, programs, subprograms, classes. Your compiler doesn't know anything about it. It will always maintain address of only main program. So whatever is written here, it will just go and execute only those things. Alright me. So that's why if you want, some form has to be made as a start form, so starting object. That has to be provided explicitly here. Okay, what it will do? It will go to main program, and whatever is provided here, it will take care of executing only these instructions. Okay, first it will enable visual styles and set the rendering compatibility. Then it will start this from. So from here, user will be redirected to respective forms. Okay. Now I want to make the new form as startup form. Just mention here form dialog boxes. Now what it will do? Whenever you start your application, what is the name of that? Form FRL. Mistake. So whenever you start your application, what it will do? It will just start this form. It will create instance of this form and show it to the end user. Okay, right. Now let's go to this. Here, I'm going to place a label. Go to properties, text, Oxford International. Name LBL title. Okay. Now, I want to create some dialog boxes. I would like to, I'm going to create a main menu. Just create a menu. Go to menus and toolbars, menu tree. Here it is going to be, my menu name is going to be customize. I would like to customize the font. I mean, I want to choose my own font. Okay. So I'd like to give some control to the end user. We need to let end user choose his own styles and colors. Whenever you click on font style, some dialog box has to be displayed where all font names should be displayed over there, and user should be allowed to choose the desired font style. Customize font style. Customize font color. Okay. We need to let him choose his own font style, his own font color. Okay. This option should be given to the end user. Let's do this. Now, how do I implement this? Whenever User click on style, right? So style comes with its own click event. If you want to perform any action on click of style, you need to generate that event. Double click on it, right? Here you have to write an action. What is that action? This action should take care of displaying a dialog box where the dialog box should be populated with set of predefined styles. And we need to end user choose the desired style from the list of populated styles. And whatever is selected by the end user, that should be applied to this label. That should be applied to this label. Okay. Let's see how to implement this. So let's move towards the next concept, that is dialog box creation. Here we have set of predefined dialog boxes provided in Windows application. You can make use of them to accommodate these kind of features. If you click on dialogs, you will see a lot of dialogs. Okay. The first one is going to be font to dialog. Just drag and drop this. What is the name of this? Font to dialog. When it should be appeared? Whenever I click on this style. Okay. So your font dialog box, this is the name of your font dialog. Font to dialog comes with a method called show dialog. Show dialog. Now let's see. Whenever I click on this, font dialog is a class which comes with a static method called show dialog. This class has been implemented by your C# Windows system. Whenever you say show dialog, it will display that font dialog box where you can see a list of predefined styles populated over there. Okay, let's see. Run this. Any questions, guys, so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So this is our form. Customize. Now, if I click on this, what happened? Font dialog box has been displayed. Now, where you can see different font styles, right? Sizes, effects, right? So this dialog box comes with two buttons, OK and cancel. I selected some style, bold, size is 16. It comes with two buttons, OK and cancel. If I click on OK, it means I'm agreeing for the style that I've selected here. If user click on OK, whatever is selected by the end user, the same style should be applied to your label, Oxford International School. If I click on cancel, nothing should be applied. So finally, your dialog box, show dialog method is going to return. Who displayed this show dialog method? That is going to return a result. That is called dialog result. Finally, this is going to return a result that is called dialog result. That is going to be either OK or cancel. Right? So every time you have to check whether user has clicked on OK or cancel. If he has clicked on OK, whatever is selected by the user should be applied to respective label. If the user has clicked on cancel, nothing should be applied. All right. So how do I know that? So as I said, finally it is going to, whenever you close this dialog box, finally it is going to return a dialog result that will tell you whether user has selected OK or cancel. Okay. Now if I click on OK, nothing will be applied because I did not write any code. I just written a single line of statement, that is show dialog. It will just display the dialog. But if you move your mouse under show dialog, here you can see what it is returning, dialog result. Here you can see dialog result, common dialog dot show dialog. It is going to return a dialog result that will tell you whether user has selected OK or cancel. So now we need to know what user has selected. We need to know the option selected by the end user. This is going to return a dialog result. If font dialog one dot show dialog is equal to dialog result dot OK, then only you should apply. If it is cancelled, nothing should be applied. No need to perform any action. If dialog result, this is going to return a dialog result. We are just checking whether it is okay or cancel. If it is okay, now what has to be done? Whatever is selected by the end user from this dialog box should be applied to this label. What is the name of this label? LBL title. LBL title dot font is equal to font selected by the end user. Here you can see font dialog one dot font. It means font selected from font dialog one. So whatever is selected by the end user will be applied to font of your label title. Let's see. Now see font style. I am selecting modern, bold, 24. See, I got applied. Bold oblique. Right? It is getting changed based on the font selected by the end user. Any questions, guys?
No. No,
Next,
sir.
we need to let user choose his own desired colors. And next dialog box is going to be color dialog box. Color. Just drag and drop this. What is the name of this? Color dialog one. If you want, you can change the name. Whenever user click on font color, that dialog box has to be displayed. If same thing, color dialog one dot, it comes with a method called show dialog. It returns dialog result. If dialog result is equal to okay, result dot okay. Okay. Now what has to be done? So whatever the color selected from your color dialog one should be applied to label. LBL title dot. When it comes to color, you'll find two things: forecolor and back color. What do you want to set? Forecolor or back color? Forecolor means text color. Back color means background color. So I'd like to test forecolor. So forecolor is equal to color dialog one dot color. Color selected from color dialog one. Let's see that. First, let me change the font style. Next, let me change the font color. It will let you choose your custom colors also. See, it is getting changed. Right? Any questions, guys?
No. No, sir.
Okay. Next, open file and save file. Open file dialog and save file dialog. And folder browser dialog also. Like if you want to let user create his own folders, choose on this. Now, I'm going to add file. New folder. Save. Open. Okay. Now, whenever user click on new folder, some dialog box has to be created where all your local drives should be displayed, and it should let you create your own folder. Just go there. What is the name of your folder dialog box? Folder browser dialog one dot show dialog. Okay. Now file, new folder. See my local drive, right? Wherever I want to create a new folder, I can go there, right? And I can create my new folder. For example, in D, I want to create a new folder. Click on make new folder. Test folder 1. Right? Test folder 1. Done. Like this, you can create a number of folders. Any questions, guys?
No.
The same
No,
way,
sir.
you have to allow user to save file, open file. Let me show you that also. Open file dialog. Okay. So this dialog box comes with a filter. You could also specify the filters here. Like, see, whenever I display the dialog box, it might show you all extension. If that is not required, for example, in one of the scenario, user need to upload Excel file. In that case, you need to show only Excel related extensions. I mean, let me show you first this. First, let me show you this. Open file. Open file dialog 1 dot show dialog. Now, what it will do? It will show me everything, right? It doesn't show the extensions. If I'm looking for a specific file, yet you should provide the option to choose that respective extension, but here it is not there. Now, what should I do? If I open anything, it will show everything, all files to me, everything. Right? If I want to see only Excel file, no, I can't see that. I need to search for all the files. Right? I don't want to do that. Rather, I'd like to provide some extensions. User can also provide. For example, in this scenario, if user need to upload a picture, you should look for only like picture related extensions like JPG, .gif, something like that. If I'm looking for a audio file, whenever I open that open file dialog, it should show me the extension related to only audio file, right? So in this case, you could also provide that filter here. Go to your open file dialog, filter. What is filter? Star dot star all files. Star dot star. Excel. Anything. For example, I would like to look for only Excel files. Excel files. Star dot XLSX. Save it. See, now here I can see Excel file. I can go to any browser, any folder. It will show me only Excel files, only Excel related files. Ready to me. So like this, you can add a number of extensions here. How do I add multiple extensions? Simple. Put one more things. Some text files. Dot txt. Like this, you can provide multiple extensions also. Now it will show me two things in the dropdown. Any questions, guys? And if you want to display that file, based on your requirement, wherever you want to upload that file, you can just go ahead and upload it. So for now, I'll just show you like, open file. If again, it comes with two things, cancel, open file dialog show dialog is equal to dialog result dot. Okay. If the user has selected this, you can also cancel it, right? Message box dot show. You have selected. You can just display the file name selected by the user. Open file dialog one dot file name comes with. It comes with a property called file name. It will give you the name of the file selected by the user. Now you can see text files as well as Excel files. Here, this is my text file. Right now, I selected this. So you have selected C/Fillmore/password123.txt. Any questions, guys?
No.
No, sir.
And last one is going to be save file dialog. For example, here I'm going to keep a label. If you take Notepad application, Notepad, not Notepad plus Notepad. What is a Notepad application? I'll tell you how to implement this. Now you can implement a Notepad application. You just created some menus, right? New, save, and these things. Format, view. But what is this? It is a text box. The entire Notepad application is a form. You added some main menus, and this whole thing is a text box, multi-line text box. Multi-line text box. All right, now I will tell you how to implement your own Notepad application. Okay. Now let us fill this is our Notepad application. Now what I will do, I'll just change this. Next gen Notepad. You can create your own Notepad. What I will do, I'll just keep a text box. That's it. Text box and rich text box. What is the difference between these two? For example, if you want to bind some special characters like Chinese language or Japanese language, Germany language, those characters will not be displayed in the original format if I use text box. If you want any character to be displayed in the original format, then use rich text box. That is the difference. Okay. Text box. What I will do, I'll just make it as multi-line text box. That's it. TXT Notepad. Make multi-line is equal to true. Now I can expand the size. Right now it is looking like your Notepad application. This is what they have done. How did they create a Notepad? Here you will see menus, right? And the whole thing is a text box. Right? The whole thing is a text box. Now, here I'm going to save, whenever say file, save. If I click on save file, what has to be done? A save file dialog box has to be displayed where it should allow me to choose the location. Wherever you want to save your file, you have to choose your location, give the file name, and this content, whatever is entered in your text box, that content should be saved as a text file in that respective location. Okay, so for that, choose save file dialog. Okay, what I will do whenever I click on this save, now user will enter something here like your notepad. It is similar to your notepad. Now, whenever I click on save, right, save file dialog has to be displayed where I should choose my the location, like wherever I want to save. It should let me choose that location and let me enter that file name. And whenever I click on save file, and this content should be saved as a text file in that respective location selected from your save dialog box. Just go there. If save file dialog one.show dialog is equal to dialog result dot okay. Right now, what should I do? Whatever user has entered. So what this will display the dialog box where I can choose the location of the file to be stored. Okay. So I will select the location wherever I want to save the file. I will select the location. Now what has to be done? Whatever I enter in the text box, that should be saved as a text file into this respective location. So here we have a DLL. Whenever you want to perform some file related operation like save, update, delete, you have a DLL called system using system.text. And we have another DLL system dot. So it is already imported. Import IO, input output operation. Input output operation. It comes with a class called file. It allows you to play with file. It allows you to perform different operations with your file. Like you can save the content, append the content, delete the content, update the content. Okay. Now I'm going to call a method called file dot save. Write all text. You're going to write the text into the text file. Write all text off. What it is asking me? String path. Where do you want to store this? That I'm going to select it from my dialog box. From where it is going to come? Save dialog one dot file name. And what has to be written into this file? That is going to come from my text box. Whatever I entered in the text box, that should, right? So we have a class called file, which will let you perform different operations with your file, right? Saving the content, updating the content, deleting the content. It has a method called write all text, which will take care of creating a file with the respective content. It takes two parameters. The first parameter is going to be the location of the file to be stored. So where do you want to store this file? So that I'm going to choose it from the dialog box. So whatever I selected in the save file dialog, that file name and that location has to be considered for saving this file. And what has to be written into this file? What has to be written? Which content has to be written? So whatever I entered in the text box, that has to be written into this file. Any questions, guys? Now,
No, sir.
okay. We had created a folder previously in D drive. What is that? Test folder 1. Now I want to save my files here. Now nothing is there, it is empty. Okay. Now it is looking like your notepad. Just expand the width, that's all. Just expand the width till the end of your form. Okay, now whatever I enter here, like your notepad, should be saved into that file. Hi, this is my first notepad application. Right? Now go to file, click on save. First, save file dialog box will be displayed. It will ask you to choose the location of the file to be stored. Now, I want to store it under D test folder 1 and give the file name. Give the file name notepad1.txt. And here you can also mention the extensions, the filter. Save. Now go there. See. Now I can see the file, right? This is my text pad, notepads. Any questions, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, so like this, you can also create your own notepad application. Okay, so this is something about dialog boxes. And there is one more thing, the timer control. You should also be aware of it. Here, I would like to display the time on my form, the time, date and time. For that, I'm going to place a label. Okay, and name of this label is going to be LBL time. Okay, whenever my form is loaded, some time should be displayed here. That's why I'm going to write this logic under form load event. Form load event. How do I write it? LBL time dot text is equal to what has to be displayed. So we have a class called date time. Date time dot now dot to string. So it will display the current date and time. Let's run this. If you want, you can change the font color. Okay, so let's run this. So now the current time and date got displayed. It got displayed, but it is not getting refreshed. Right? Here we need to simulate a clock. It should look like a clock, right? It should keep on refreshing it. Right? It got displayed only once. And we can see the same text always, every time. That is not correct. It should be refreshed at a regular interval to display the latest current date and time. Right? So, because we have placed this logic inside form load event will be executed only once throughout the lifetime. That's why this will be displayed only once. Now, what has to be done? This same action has to be executed repeatedly for every millisecond or for every second. Then it will get refreshed. Then you will feel like it is a clock. Are you getting me? So, like your loop, whenever you want to repeat the execution in GUI-based application, especially Windows application, you have another controller called timer controller. Timer. Place timer onto your form. What timer will do? Timer comes with an event called tick event. This will be called repeatedly based on the interval set by the user. Here you can set some interval. The frequency By default, it is 100 milliseconds. 100 milliseconds. Based on your requirement, you can set it to 10 or 20. Are you to me? By default, it is 100 milliseconds. Behavior enable, timer enable is equal to enable it. I can change it to, like based on your requirement, whether you want to execute that event continuously for every 10 seconds, for every 10 milliseconds, or 5 milliseconds, that depends upon your requirement. So based on this interval, for every 10 milliseconds, what it will do? It calls its tick event. So this event will be executed repeatedly based on that interval set by the end user. There we set it as 10. For every 10 seconds, it will be executed repeatedly. So now I'm going to move my code from load to this event. Right? If I keep it in load will be executed only once throughout the lifetime, but tick will be executed repeatedly based on that interval set by the user. Now run it. Now you will feel like it is a clock. Now see, what is happening? It is changing. Why it is changing? The same code is getting executed repeatedly for every 20 milliseconds. That's why yet you feel like it as a clock. So whenever something has to be executed repeatedly on the form, without disturbing these things, right? I can do whatever I want to. I can change the style. It is not impacting anything, right? It is a kind of background worker, background thread, which doesn't disturb anything. It doesn't interrupt anything. It will be working as an independent entity, right? So this will be working in the background. It doesn't disturb anything. It will have its own context. It will have its own process. It will have its own thread and will be executing independently without interrupting any existing thing on the form. If you have a scenario of executing something in the background, then go with timer control. Any questions, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, so please do complete your assignment. I'm going to stop here. The Windows application is completed. After completing web application, I will let you design a messenger like your WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger using Windows. There you will get to know about delegate, event, and event handler. We already discussed that in C#, but there you will clearly see what is the real use of delegate, event, and event handler. Simple. For example, here we have a click event, right? In the back end, there are 100 different events here. This is one event, this is one event. Whenever I click on something, it will take me to only that respective event. How come? Who is doing that? This is different file, this is different file. But whenever I click on any event, anything, it will take me to only that respective event. Who is doing that? That is your delegate. Read me. This is your event. That is your delegate. Okay. So when we implement that messenger application, then we'll get a chance to implement different delegates, events, and event handlers, combination of all these three. Okay. So please complete your assignment and make use of all these features. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to learn web-based application, ASP.NET, MVC. Any questions?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, tomorrow I will verify your assignment. So it is mandatory. You should complete. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Okay. Chalo, bye.